Tesla's stock is up over 4% today, and this is why. Tesla has obtained approval to test its advanced driver assistance system in Shanghai, China, and could also receive authorization to do the test in Hangzhou, Bloomberg News reported Monday, citing an unnamed source familiar with the matter. According to the report, the source said Tesla staff will conduct the system's initial tests. And this is clearly a big deal for Tesla because this means FSD is closer than ever to launching in China, as well as just an overall robo-taxi network, and that is the holy grail for Tesla. At this point, China is the biggest market for Tesla. Normally, it's the US, but the last couple of quarters, you've seen more deliveries in China than the US. And given how tech-savvy the Chinese consumer is, I would even argue that the take rate for FSD may be higher than it is in the US. But obviously that is to be continued. I would also say part of this move is the digestion of Elon Musk's comp package actually being approved. What you seen on Friday was a very risk-off kind of market, and to some extent you're seeing that a little bit today in certain sectors and areas of our markets. But Elon's comp package was overall a massive positive catalyst for Tesla. You sold off on Friday because of some of the market overall problems, the risk-off sell-off that you've seen, but also that buy the rumor, sell the news situation. Now that you're into a new week and there's further digestion, people are saying, hey, that was a really good catalyst, positive event for Tesla. Maybe Tesla stock goes higher from here. So they're going out and buying Tesla. In other news, Tesla has reduced the price of the Model 3 all-wheel drive in the US by $250 to $47,490. This might be some welcome news as well in a weird way that Tesla's marginally cutting prices and they're not massively cutting prices. Tesla has also extended the promotional rate for the Model 3 until June 30th. So they're doing it about a month instead of the 10 days they were previously doing it, which I like to keep you guys informed of this. This is the Google Trends data because it is by far the best indicator we can see on a day-by-day basis to judge what Tesla's demand looks like. And what you can see with Google Trends data is there was a large reaction via Google Trends with the Model Y interest rate buy down. It had a positive effect on the Model 3. It had a positive effect on the Cybertruck. Even the Model S and X had a positive boost from Tesla doing that buy down on the Model Y interest rate. Well, ever since they did that on the Model 3, you have seen activity start to pick up there as well, from 21 on the Model 3 to 26 now. The Model Y is also picked up from 30, now at 31, and the Cybertruck's just going gangbusters from 71 to 87. The Model S and the Model X, they're unchanged. They don't move much. They're sitting at 11 for the Model S and the Model X at 9. Tesla has begun its fight for legal recognition of a shareholder vote favoring Elon Musk's pay package, telling a Delaware judge that it significantly impacts her ruling voiding the pay, according to a letter made public on Monday. Tesla is starting the legal fight of reinstating Elon's comp package. Tesla is now going on the offensive and they are suing their former supplier Matthews International in California federal court for allegedly stealing trade secrets related to Tesla's battery manufacturing process and sharing them with its competitors. And on another note, Elon Musk says in the future there will be no phones, just Neuralinks. The new Tesla Model 3 long range now officially qualifies for the full $7,500 federal EV credit in the US, according to Tesla. This means that the Model 3 long range now starts at just $39,990, including the EV credit. And here you can see the IRS now list this vehicle as eligible. This Barron's article put out today titled "Tesla stock is soaring, but they won't top this level," cites the main reason for today's rally being the pay package that was approved last week. The article goes on to say, with technical resistance around 200, it would take something significant for shares to top that, and one may be on the way soon. Tesla will report second quarter deliveries in early July. Wall Street expects 450,000 deliveries, down from the 466,000 a year ago, implying the second consecutive year-over-year decline for deliveries, according to FactSet. A beat might help shares top $200. And again, if Google trends mean anything at all, this is the highest search trend activity you have seen in years. Like many years. The last 5 years, this recent last 3 months just makes the last 5 years look like nothing, right? It's noticeably higher, and maybe that leads to noticeably higher deliveries for Tesla. So I actually think a pretty good beat could be in store for Tesla. Here today, markets are actually doing pretty well across the board. The Dow is up 0.25%, S&P up 0.67%, NASDAQ up 0.86%, the Russell 2000 finally having a green day, up 0.22%. The VIX is down 1/3%, but what's actually most interesting about this is 10-year Treasury yields are actually up 6.5 basis points today, which is not typically what you see. And the recent decline we have seen in 10-year Treasury yields, going from 4.62% down to 4.21%, did not have a positive effect on small cap stocks, which leads me to believe there's been a lot of recession fears out there in our markets as of lately. And maybe the actual rise in Treasury yields can be a positive thing for stocks, because maybe that means we're more fearful about the Fed and inflation than a recession, which is ultimately like, you know, two bad things, but one's better than the other. With clearly the market's worried about the Fed and inflation rather than a recession being better than a recession. I am still quite defensive here. I think this could be a blow-off top kind of rally before a downtrend. If you take a look at the RSI sitting at 76 on the SPY, you're very vulnerable for a corrective downside move here. It's even worse on the NASDAQ. You are now more overbought than you have been in recent history. I mean, you have to go back to probably 2020 to be this overbought. Yeah, you have to go back to January of 2020. Well, I guess technically for a brief period in August of 2020, you were this overbought as well. But current RSI levels are at 81.21 for the NASDAQ, which is, I mean, like a momentum stock would be, right? Going through some kind of short squeeze. These are very extended levels. We do have some data coming out tomorrow that will be very important for broader markets, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in the next video. We have seen 5 different institutional unusual trades today, totaling $824,000 in Tesla, with a positive order value of 46%. If you take a look at this Friday's expiration, you do have volume today of 63% calls and 37% puts, open interest at 65.3%, and on the call side, and 34.69% open interest on the put side. And it looks like you're actually seeing a decent amount of short covering today. It looks like about 615,000 shares on net were actually covered today. You do have short interest of free float at 3.65%, about $18 billion currently sold short in the stock, 101.06 million shares that are sold short. Search trend activity for full self-driving is pretty flat here in the low 20s, which is higher than where we were in the mid to low teens for many years for full self-driving. So I would make an argument the take rate is now higher than it was before, and maybe we get more insight on that on Tesla's upcoming earnings. CNN's Fear and Greed Index today is at 42, still in fear territory, which is, I mean, just mind-boggling to me how CNN's Fear and Greed Index could be at 42 and the NASDAQ has an RSI of 81. What is going on here? This is truly a crazy market. Even though Tesla is doing well today, you are still seeing about 0.2% of all stocks out there on the markets today going under their 50-day moving average, which is a lot better than what you've seen on Friday, where something like 6% of stocks fell under their 50-day moving average. But it's still a day in which the average stock is still declining. So there's still a lot of concentration in your upper areas of the markets. That is the reason stocks continue higher. So it's not like we're seeing a broad-based rally out there. That's preferably what you would want to see to be a little bit more bullish on markets. Tesla continues to run about 4,000 different ads with Google. Global inventory numbers are falling a little bit for the Model S, the Model X, as well as the Model 3 today. All of these models sitting in the 4,000 to 4,400 range for total inventories. The Model Y has really flattened out at about 5,400, but still well off the highs of where you were at, early March when you were almost 10,000 Model Ys in inventory. This is another good indicator that maybe deliveries come in good for Q2. As I mentioned in the prior video, you also have a few earnings this week. Lennar, a home builder that reports earnings today and after hours. Lazy Boy Quantum. Tomorrow you have KB Homes and after hours. Thursday is that's really your big day for earnings, if you'll call it that. You have Kroger's and Darden restaurants. They own Olive Garden and other brands that reports Thursday morning. And then Smith & Wesson after hours Thursday. CarMax and FactSet Friday pre-market. On a technical basis, Tesla is pushing into resistance at the time of recording this video around that 188 level. This has served to be resistance many times in the past. And to be honest, if we could get above that, then you're setting yourself up for a run at least to that $200 level. That's where you're going to get a lot more resistance. If you break above that, again, probably July 2nd. I don't think that Barron's article was wrong. You'll probably get that break around July 2nd or so. If that delivery number comes in good, then you could set yourself up for a much larger run because Wall Street's going to say, oh crap, maybe we're wrong shorting Tesla because their deliveries are actually picking up again. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if we actually came in with a positive year-over-year delivery number at 470,000 deliveries, possibly. If you take a look at Tesla's RSI sitting at 59.36, you're far from being overbought, so more room to run there is suggested. The MACD line has sharply started to move upwards now to 1.53. The signal line is 0.92, so anytime that MACD line is above the signal line, that is a good sign. So today was definitely a positive on the technicals, and even earlier in the trading day, you bounced right off of that 100-day moving average, which does have the 20-day moving average converging on it. So you basically bounce off the 20-day and the 100-day moving average today with such a large bounce like you were seeing, up 5% at the time of recording this video. That does tend to be very positive in the short or medium term for a company. That means not only did you just find support at the 100-day or 20-day moving average, you found a lot of support and the buyers came in, which typically is not just a one and done kind of thing. So it wouldn't surprise me if indeed we do break out above that 188 level coming tomorrow or over the next couple of days. But again, we do have big data coming out tomorrow that will be very important. So let me know what you think about all of this information down below in the comment section. How are you positioning right now in Tesla? Are you buying more? Are you FOMOing? Are you buying some calls? You buying some puts? Let me know what you're doing down below in the comment section. If indeed you guys want to come trade with us live in real time, check out that link down below in the description of this video. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.